What's going on, guys? I got a really awesome product I want to do a quick showcasing of here that I bought off of Hop-Up, I believe last year, earlier on in the year. This is no ordinary drum mag. It is for a WE AK GBB. My WE AK GBBR is a WE AKS74UN. It will also fit that PMC contractor one or whatever it's called, and it probably would fit the big full-length real wood furniture AK74. And as you can see, it's HPA tapped, as well as being an electric drum. I think that's really cool. This was made by a guy who is on Hop-Up. I'm going to show his profile in a second here. Hopefully he's okay with that. And I really want to highlight this because I think this is a hidden gem. And it's important to find these hidden gems because they don't come around too often, and when they do, they get scooped up pretty quick. And I don't want this guy to get discouraged from wanting to make more of these because they're amazing. I thought I'll just maybe take it apart real quick, show the insides. It's kind of hard too because you're supposed to take the disc, you know, the little, I forget the name of that right now, but you're supposed to take that off and then you can slip the hose through, but maybe I'll just kind of try to sneak this off. So as you can see, that's what it looks like. It's a little crazy in there, but I mean, you still have the drum magazine internals, the electric motor, this is the battery pack, and then obviously your gigantic BB reservoir. I still think it's about a 3,000 round reservoir, maybe a little less now, maybe, you know, 2,500 or something, because this does occupy a lot of the space, but not much. As you can see, it's very well done through here. Like, really well done. I was really impressed with this. This was one of the best sort of like community member made projects and products I've ever seen, honestly. It's really wonderful. It looks like he did a tad bit of filing to get it to fit in the full-size AK-47 PMC version. But if you want to see the listing, I have it up on my old phone. And here it is. It's by this fella right here. You can search his profile or just search that. And as he describes it, it's a custom HPA drum for the WE AK series. It's built by him. It's built off of a SEMA electric AK drum, cut down WE AK mag, put a lot of time into it. Everything is brand new. You'll just have scuffs from building. But the price, though, is steep. I actually got it for a little less. He must have had to have upped it for production costs, but check it out. He also has one of these. I have seen this before too, and I've seen it in the works, in person. I've gotten to shoot one of those guns with his drum mag in it. Mint. Perfect. Worked exactly as he described. And right there, you see that little thing? That's how you get the BBs into it. It's really cool. Oh, never mind, there's a better picture of it. So you pour the BBs in through that little brass chute, and then, yeah, you just wind it up at the front there and go to town. It works so well, it's incredible. So yeah, he only has those for now. I talked to him in private conversation. He said he wanted to make an HPA tapped high cap drum mag for a Thompson, for the WE GBB Thompson. Doesn't look like it's there yet, but you know what? Let's give the guy time. You know how you could probably get it there quicker? Is if he had the funds from buying these. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. That would actually probably slow him down because then he'd have to make more of those. But if he's got them on hand, I mean, that would sure help him. Now, I'm not trying to shill this guy, okay? In the sense that, you know, he's the greatest, you know, GBB tech ever or anything like that. I'm just saying these hidden gems are worth a look at and they're worth a spotlight. Let's go shoot my AK. All right, here she is, my WE AK. Turn the lights off around me so that way you can see out there better. And we're gonna have some fun here, folks. Interesting, my trigger won't reset. Hashtag WE Tech. Uh-oh. Oh no! We're gonna take a short commercial break. Okay, commercial break's over. So, I had a jam. It was preventing the hammer from being able to fall. It was just completely messed up. No big deal. let's see if I can hold this thing out in front of the camera. Kinda. This is going to be difficult, so you can just see the absurd amount of recoil this thing has. This is going to be tough. As you can see, this is a good time. I think even if you don't really use it out on the field, this is worth the money in and of itself, just to have that experience. It's the closest thing you're going to get to shooting a fully automatic AK without shooting a real fully automatic AK, if you know what I mean. Because I'll never own one of those because it's too expensive. I mean, that's fancy for saying I'm too poor. It also helps, this thing is, it has those WE Tech trigger components, the full thing, hammer, trigger itself, valve knocker, you name it. Anything that WE Tech makes for this thing in terms of the trigger components, it's in here. I also have the buffer, this part right here. Let's turn on a light. This part right here. So what this does is it shortens the stroke of the bolt to prevent it from being super sluggish and slow. There, that'll help. And then I have a Tokyo Marui bucking inside. And that's it. The rest of this gun is bone stock. Look, I think the WE Tech AK is a little bit underrated. I think that people hate on it too much because the stock trigger components are absolutely trash, and they're not wrong about that. But once you replace them, it's not that bad. I mean, it's one of those things, oh, well, once you spend $100 on trigger components, it's not that bad. Well, you have to do the same thing to the damn GHK AK. If you try to use it in full auto, the same shit happens. I know that because I used to own a GHK AKM, and I actually had a weird custom drum mag that didn't work out quite as well on that gun. But it worked long enough for me to cycle it a few thousand times, and eventually the sear for full auto broke, so it became semi-auto permanently. So yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where I just found it to be pretty overrated. I mean, it was a good gun, but let's get a new angle where maybe you can see me shoot it from my perspective, just to see how much like recoil is actually happening. You know, it's going, like, how much this thing just racks you when you shoot it. It's so crazy. Alright, so this is me holding my WE AK with the dust cover open. We're gonna let it do some rat-ta-ta-ta-ta. That is so much fun. I'm probably going to stop doing that so I don't piss my neighbors off. Well, they're not my neighbors anymore, they're my parents' neighbors. Alright, folks. I think that showcased not only the AK, but that drum mag really well. Sorry about the sloppiness of the video. 1 second, I just gotta do a little push. There we go. But I think that is one happy, healthy, rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tatty boy. I like this gun. It is a little bit impractical to use at times. You have to run it at a high PSI, which unfortunately makes the FPS ridiculously high. I'm gonna have to try to find a way around that. But otherwise, it is so much fun to shoot. Every time I bring this thing out to the field, there's always a couple people that are like, yo, can I shoot this thing in full auto, please? And I'm like, have at it. I've thought about selling it from time to time, but whenever I shoot it, I'm like, I can't. Even if I don't use this gun, just doing what I just did is enough for me to keep it. It was worth it. All around, I mean, the WE AK74u, I could do a review on that in and of itself and talk about it, but to give a quick summary of this video, the drum mag, as you saw, is pretty awesome. Yeah, there was a jam, but that was more of a misfeed. I don't think that was attributed to the drum mag. I think it was just lots of full auto, lots of moving metal and plastic parts, caused for one too many BBs to decide to come up into the chamber and cause the jam. It was just as simple as taking the mag out, racking the bolt, and going at it. Wow! Even a GBB AK can imitate that of a real AK from time to time when it decides to jam. Just rack the bolt and it's fine again. But I think this is a nice AK. and I think that people sleep on it. I don't think you should sleep on it. And if you have one of these AKs, or one of the, the full-size PMC AKs, I think they're called the PMC, or the full-size 74s with the wood furniture, check out that guy's drum mag on Hop Up. He's got it listed right now. That post that you saw was active. He's ready to sell more. So don't sleep on this opportunity. I think the HPA tapped world of GBBRs is amazing. I think that, yeah, it kills some of the realism, but it adds to the fun of being able to skirmish this, like how you just saw, and to be able to go out and use it and have less frustrations. There's the meme that goes around on those on the Airsoft Facebook pages and Reddit, where it's like, oh, how a GBBR works, where it's like gas something something, then it's like leak from all directions, and then it shows the BB path going out of the barrel, and it's like crushing disappointment. That's usually what happens when you use a GBB with actual green gas. Okay, not always, but half the time it seems like that, when it's more or less maybe only like 2% of the time, but when it does happen, it feels like it stabs you through the heart. Those problems are no more when you HPA tap. You will now get excellent disappointment. You will get crushing, your opponents will have crushing disappointment when they find out that your GBB actually works instead of just being a gimmick. So take a look at those. It doesn't allow the stock to fold, as you saw, and it also is very loud when you shoot it in full auto like that a lot, just as a heads up too. I probably disturbed my parents' neighbors. And then lastly, just make sure that if you are going to run your WE AK like that with that drum mag in full auto a lot, that you get those steel components in there. Before we wrap up the video, let me flip it open and we can take a look at those internals real quick, get a better angle of it. So this is what I'm rocking. This is what's in here. So this is that brass buffer, and it's got a spring on it, so then that way the bolt goes, so it hits it and springs back, which is what makes the cycling rate a bit higher. And then you have all the nice RA Tech steel trigger components. And with that said, guys, take a look at these guns. Happy Airsoft.